Hello and welcome back to virtualtraining.us. My name is Devin Gandhi. In today's lesson, we are going to continue with our Inter-Vlan routing concept. This is a part 2 of 3-part series video. In part 1, we configured the Cisco switch with VLAN 10, 20, 30, and 40. In this part, we're going to configure the Cisco 1841 router. So as you can see, I don't have any configuration on the router yet. This is the configuration that comes with the router. Basically, this is the default configuration, so I haven't applied any new configuration to it at all. So what I'm going to do, basically, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, and I'm going to go ahead and do some of these things that we've already done in part 1 on the switch, which is to configure the host name, configure the service option, create the local username and password database, configure date and time, configure the console and telnet access, configure the DNS and name server. And when we come back, we're going to go ahead and start with the configuring the DHCP pool. So just hold tight and I'll be right back. Welcome back. So I just finished configuring the basics configuration, and I can show you that if I do show run. So now let's start with the DHCP pool, and we'll start with the server farm first, and we'll go from there to a end user and then HR user. So let's start with the server farm. So do config t and IP DHCP pool, and I'm going to call it server farm. The network is going to be the 192.168.20.0 with the 255.255.255.0 subnet. The default router is going to be 192.168.20. I'm going to do 254. The domain name, since I don't have a DNS server, so I'm just going to assign cisco.com, and the name server are going to be DNS servers are going to be 8.8.8.8.8.4.4. Hit enter. And so this is all we need for the for a client to get an IP address. But some people like to put a lease as well, so we can always do lease. And if I do a question mark, you can have 0 through 365 days. So I'm just going to do 3 days. So that's first of the DHCP pool. Let's do one for the end user. So let's do IP DHCP pool and users, and same thing, network is going to be 192.168. That's going to be 30.0 with the 255.255.255.0 subnet. The default router is going to be 30.254, and then the same thing with the DNS 8.8.8.8, 8.8.4.4, domain name cisco.com, and the lease time, let's do 2 days for this one. And the last one we need to do is the HR user, so IP DHCP pool HR users, network network is 192.168.40.0, 255.255.255.0. Then the default router is 192.168.40.254, DNS 8.8.8.8, 8.8.4.4. And I'm going to go ahead and save the config so far. So if you go and do show run, we should see a 3 different device pool. There's a server farm, there's end users, and there's here's the HR users. Now it's good to have some exclusion, so you can reserve some of those IP for something else. So let's do that. So let's do IP DHCP excluded address for each subnet. I'm going to do 192.168.20 dot, let's say 200 to 192.168.20.254. So you can have up to 199 client connecting and receiving a DHCP addresses from this device pool. And anything from 200 to 254 is actually reserved, so we can statically assign. So we need to do the same thing for the other two. So I'm going to do 30 to, and then we're going to do the same thing for 40. So here is the excluded addresses, and here are the actual DHCP pool. So far, most of the configuration is done. The only thing left is to configure the sub-interfaces. This is also called router on a stick. So let's go ahead and create the sub-interfaces. So what we're going to do is 1841 router comes with the two fast Ethernet interfaces, fast Ethernet 00 and 01. And we're going to use the 00 to configure the sub-interfaces, and we'll use the 01 in case we want to connect that to internet down the road. So let's do config T, and the first thing we want to do is interface FA00, and let's make sure that it's not shut down. So let's just do no shut, and then we're going to do the interface FA0/0 dot. The first one we're going to create is for the management VLAN, so we're going to do 10. The IP address is going to be 192.168.10.255.255.255.255.0. Oh, first we have to do the encapsulation. So let's do .1Q10, and then we'll do the IP address. So as you can see, it came right up. So we're going to do the same thing for the other one. So let's just arrow up and go to the 20, and then we can say encapsulation dot 1Q20, and the IP address is going to be 20.254, no shutdown. You can also put a description if you want it, so we can say this one is for, if I'm mistaken, it's a server farm. Yeah, so 20 was server farm. Then we can do exit interface fa0/0.30. Description is gonna be end users, and then encapsulation dot 1Q30, and the IP address is going to be 192.168.30.254, 255.255.255.0, and let's do no shut. And the last one, it's going to be interface fa0/0.40. So now if we go and look at it, we should have 4 separate subinterface. Show run. So as you can see right here, we have, so on the first one we didn't put a description on this, so there's no description on here, so we'll go back and do that. But dot 20 has the subnet 192.168.20.254. Dot 30 has 30.254, and 40 has dot 40.254. So let's go back, and I'm going to put a description. So if I do show IP interface brief, I can see right here all 4 sub interfaces are up, as well as the fast Ethernet 00. So now if I attach a device to the any of these port, I should get respective IP address from that device pool. So as you can see, I can ping the switch SVI. I'll do it one more time because that was the IP address for the switch. If I need to do a telnet, I should be able to telnet into the switch as well. Yep. So if I do ping 192.168.10 dot, let's say 254, I should get a response back. If I do 20.254, I should get a response back as well. So as you can see, I'm able to ping each sub interface directly from the switch. So I have my desktop plugged into one of the port on through 1 through 15. I think it's port number 4. If I do ipconfig on the computer actually, so you can tell that I've got an IP address of 30.1 because I'm connected to the first 15 within first 15 port. So I should get an IP address from the VLAN 30. So that shows right here 192.168.30.1. with 30.254 as the default router, and then the domain was a cisco.com. So if I now ping, if I do a ping to, let's say, 192.168 10.254, I should get a response back. Yep, there you go. That's a management VLAN. If I do a 20, so there you go. And if I do 40, and let's say if I unplug it from the port that is plugged in right now to, let's go to one of the port in the middle. So I should get an IP address that's in the I would say 20 range now. Let's do IP config on the PC again, and as you can see now I'm getting a IP address from .40, which is gonna be the VLAN 40, which is HR user. So I'm getting the IP address from that range now. So if I do unplug it from there and plug it back into one of the server VLAN, I should be able to get an IP from that range as well. So let's do again IP config, and as you can see now I've got an IP from the 20. So looks like so far everything's working the way we expected. So in my third video we'll go over some show command and do some other more configuration which is not required, but it's kind of good to have. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.